the only thing that I found comes up in conversations that we have with people is so we will say, like, you don't have to be your stereotypical social media influencer where you put in everything out there, and maybe those fancy reels kind of falls into that category a bit. But then on the other hand, and this is where it sounds quite contradictory, we are then saying you don't have to be that influencer, but I hate the word have. I'm trying to think of a different word, but there are elements of your life that maybe you should put out there to enable that trust building exercise so that people can see that you are a real human being. Now, that should bit, again, I hate the word should because it's very like...
Sounds a bit judgy, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it? It's like, you should be doing that. And it's not that in the slightest. I think it's being mindful that in this day and age and where we are now in 2026, early on in 2026, people are not spending their cash the same way that they used to. Now, for some of you listening, you might be thinking, well, they've never spent their cash anyway, so there's not much difference. But the marketplace is shifting. There is definitely a shift in people holding on to their cash more. Not that they're not spending.
That's the difference, isn't
Yeah.
it? It's not that... This is the big thing between the, oh my God, the world's a shit show, no one's got any money thing, to actually people are being more cautious for a good reason. Mm-hmm. That's all.
Yeah. So it's not that nobody's spending, they're just adding a few more steps into their spending process and being more mindful where they spend their money.
Yeah.
And that's the key difference. So the element of that trust building is if someone is already being quite cautious and if somebody is already, taking these extra steps to want to spend the money, then they're more likely going to spend it with someone, considering you are a service-based business, considering you are likely a one-man band, you are a solo business owner. If they don't trust you, and this comes back to conversations that we've had previously of like, how are you going to even take payment? Like, I steer clear of anybody that I have to do a backs payment to now. It just gives me a bit of a, I don't think I like it. Certainly if it's over a certain amount of money anyway. It just doesn't, that trust bit isn't there.
Actually, for me now, it doesn't matter how much it is. It still feels a bit weird, and you don't know if it's actually got there, and you don't get a receipt for it, and it's all a bit odd, isn't it?
I always do like a little test. I'm like, can you just check that £1's gone over first? And then, but even that's horrible because then it's like, it's just back and forth, and it's like, okay, it's there, it's landed now. I've got to transfer extra hundreds and all. It's like, no, don't like it. So all of that, like that whole process just is a trust withdrawal from that account again. But, kind of like looping back to how you put yourself out there, it's just showing elements of you that somebody can connect with. Now, I get for a lot of you listening, you could fall into the category of being a complete introvert and you don't want to put yourself out there in the slightest. You just want to essentially advertise your thing and go, I do dog training, come and work with me, but I'm not going to show you my face. I'm not going to show you my name. I'm not going to put anything up about anything. All you're ever going to see is a picture of a dog and the service that I offer.
Hiding behind the brand of the,
And how difficult is it to buy from someone that you don't even know what they look like?
I think this is something we don't always, we take for granted as a consumer. And there are I think we've spoken about this before, but your big brands, your Nikes, your Adidas, we were just talking about trainers, so it's just come to my mind. But we trust the brand. Like, we don't necessarily know the person behind Nike. We don't know their story necessarily. I mean, we may do, but I don't. And I don't think it's massively out there. But you got trust in the brand. It's been around for so long. And so many people are wearing Nike trainers, for example, that you kind of don't need it at that point. But we're not that. Like, for the most part, we are solo business owners that don't have that ability to have that immediate trust in what we do.
Yeah.
So,
and actually, when you look at those big brands, if you look over the backstory of it, I was thinking of Richard Branson when you started saying Adidas and stuff there. I was like, well, he's Virgin.
Yeah.
But you trust Virgin because of the personal brand that Richard Branson's built.
Yeah.
So you trust all
It's
of
come
that
from
stuff.
somewhere, hasn't it?
Yeah, it all starts off somewhere.
It all starts
even
from
all the
something.
big like your Facebooks and your Zuckerbergs, and do you know what I mean? Like there is a person attached to all of it, whether you know them or not. It all starts with a founder's story and a founder being involved, and they've grown that brand into something that can be trusted.